This is a porterhouse. It is part New York strip, part filet mignon, and all the way delicious. Who doesn't like a good 2-for-1? But I've always wondered, is it a good deal? We're gonna find out today. We're gonna break them down and price them out and see if buying a porterhouse steak is a good deal or not. We're also gonna talk about how to cook it, how to slice it, how to plate it, make it look nice. We are gonna put to bed once and for all if this steak is worth all the hype. With that being said, it is now time to bring on the steak. This is a porterhouse. It is a New York strip and a filet mignon connected by a T-shaped bone. Now, don't get it confused. A T-bone and porterhouse are different. I say again, T-bones and porterhouses are different, and they should be categorized differently. T-bones and porterhouses both come off of the primal cut of the short loin. As we go down the short loin, the fillet gets smaller and smaller and smaller. After the fillet gets less than 3 fingers, 1.5 inches or so, then it is characterized as a T-bone. The T-bone has less of a fillet, so it is therefore cheaper. Porterhouse more expensive, T-bone cheaper. First, we're gonna take our porterhouse steak, we're gonna oil it, and then liberally season it with salt and pepper. This is a thick one, so don't forget to season the sides of the steak. It's really important to get all that flavor in every bite. Next, we are gonna make our fire alarm preparations. Yes, if you've watched this channel any length of time, you know that my fire alarm is too close to my stove. So we are gonna go ahead and make preparations. Night, night, Mr. Fire Alarm. This will all be over soon. Let me tuck you in. Now let's grab a pan and get ready to sear. This is a perfect time to say thank you to our sponsor for this video, Made In. It was kind of a funny conversation because they're like,
hey, can we send you a couple pans so you could use them?
and I was like, oh no, I got you covered. I got a whole stack of these pans and I use them all the time. I got non-stick, I have the stainless steel, I have the high carbon steel. Their products are amazing and they really make cooking easier. Made In makes professional quality pans for the home cook. I have used these almost exclusively in the last couple of years. This is a company that I really love. Today I'm going to be using this 12-inch fry pan from the stainless collection to go ahead and sear our porterhouse. The cool thing about this is when you're sauteing on the stove, this handle really stays cool, and then you can just pop the whole thing in the oven. It's oven safe for like 800 degrees. My oven, or most people's oven, don't go to 800 degrees. You could have just said 8,000 or whatever, but it's oven safe to 800 degrees. So it's gonna work perfect today for our porterhouse. Check out the stainless collection and Made In's other cookware by using the link in my description to save on your order. And thanks to Made In for sponsoring this video. And now we sear. We're gonna heat up our pan, get it nice and hot, and warning, this is gonna make you hungry. As soon as this steak hits that pan and you hear that unmistakable sizzle, you will be reaching for a steak. If you don't have a steak near you, I suggest that you go get one ASAP. This has been your sizzle warning. Once that pan gets nice and hot, we're gonna put the steak in there with a little bit of avocado oil, and we're gonna sear 2 to 3 minutes aside, or until the fire department comes, but don't worry, they like steak too. We're then gonna put it in the 400-degree oven, and then we're gonna cook it to your desired temperature. We're gonna use the instant read thermometer to pull our steak about 10 degrees below how we like it done. I like mine rare to medium rare, so I'm gonna pull mine at 115. Your steak will continue to carry over cook, and it will increase about 10 degrees. After we pull it out of the oven, we're gonna let this steak just sit in a pool of melted butter. We're gonna put some cold butter on the top, let that stuff melt in. Oh, look at that. It looks so good. And then we're gonna let it rest for 5 minutes. You're gonna wanna eat this right now. Let it rest, let those juices flow. It will be ready in 5 minutes, then we'll slice. All right, here we go. We've rested our steak, put the butter on top, made it real nice. It's starting to melt down. What I'm gonna do is take these butter chunks and we're just gonna put it underneath the steak as we slice it. And what's gonna happen is when we're slicing it, the juices from the meat is gonna mix with the butter and it's gonna be delicious. Woo, I cannot wait. The way we slice these things is you're gonna invert it like this, and then we're gonna go down that bone, right down the middle, and slide out just like that. There's our fillet. You're gonna find the other part of the bone, and we're gonna go down this way. And you hit the bottom, you hit that T-bone, we're gonna curve our knife and go ahead and take off the New York strip. Now, if we were at a restaurant, this is what they do to plate. They kind of do this in a presentation style of way. We're gonna put our T-bone right here in the middle, and then we'll go ahead, make sure we get some of that butter in there, and we'll start slicing our strip. Again, just nice, easy slices. Let that juice from the steak and the butter mix together. I don't know about you, but I am getting really hungry watching this. And what we'll do is we'll take our knife and kind of tongue style mixture here, and we will recreate the bone, but we'll just do it a little bit nicer. We're gonna fan it out just a little bit nicer. There we go. And we'll do our fillet in a very similar fashion. Let's get some of that butter on there and make sure we get a little bit of flavor in every bite there. And then we'll take our knife, that's kind of like a spatula, put it over here, fan it out, and have a nice little presentation of Porterhouse. We have our New York strip, we have our filet, but yet we have not gotten to the reason we are here. I have made a nice, delicious Porterhouse steak, but is it worth it? Can I buy just a strip and a filet for less money than I can the entire Porterhouse? Because I can't really eat this bone. I have another Porterhouse. We're gonna grab our calculators and our scales, and we're gonna see if the Porterhouse is cheaper than buying just the strip and just the filet. Now, a lot of grocery stores do not separate the T-bones and the Porterhouse. And yes, I'm talking about you, Sam's Club specifically. Now, every time I go to Sam's, this is what I find. This package says beef T-bone steak. From what we've learned already, you know that these are not T-bones. These are actually Porterhouse. And if you dig through the packages, you're gonna find one where they put two Porterhouses together. They'll try to put a T-bone, which is the smaller filet, in with the big filet, which is the Porterhouse, so it evens it out. But keep looking, keep digging, because you're gonna find one like this. Let's open it up, and I wanna show you exactly what I'm talking about. I just found this today. You can find them every time that you go. Here's our first one and our second one. Look at the size of those fillets.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
This is a Porterhouse. Two Porterhouses together for a T-bone price. I'll take it every single day. Another thing about Sam's is they actually have the best prices on T-bones that I've found in my town. So I try to go to Sam's as much as possible if I'm gonna get a T-bone. These were $11.98 a pound. And the last ones I got from Publix were $15.99 a pound for Porterhouse. So you can see you've already saved a tremendous amount of money, and you gotta sift through and find those Porterhouses. Now, that money-saving hack alone, I think deserves you to hit the subscribe button for me right now. Now we need to determine if the Porterhouse is a good deal. Now, like I've talked about before, we got a New York strip on one side, we got a filet on the other. Now, I wanna know if I just buy a New York strip and a filet of the same size, will it be more expensive or less expensive than a Porterhouse that is on the bone? I'm not going to go into the flavor difference if it's on a bone or off a bone. I think that would be its own video or own taste test of deciding if it tastes any different, because I don't know how many of you are going to pick up that bone and start gnawing on it, but maybe I'm wrong. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and separate off these muscles. Basically, I'm going to take my knife, and just like we did when we sliced the cooked one, we're just going to run as close to the bone as possible, all the way down. Once we hit the bone at the bottom, you turn, follow that bone, cut it off. There is our New York strip. We'll do the same thing on the other side to get the fillet. Trying to get as close as possible so that we don't have any extra meat on that bone. So there's our fillet. I got the Porterhouse at the grocery store, and it was $16.99 per pound. I'm gonna go ahead and weigh these two pieces up, and we're gonna compare them if I would have purchased a filet and a New York strip. So the filet came in right at 5 ounces, and the strip came in at 10.1 ounces. I crunched all the numbers, and this is what we found. My whole Porterhouse, before I cut it up, was $15.99 per pound. It was 1.17 pounds. So that came to a total of $18.71 for the whole thing, everything you see here. If I was gonna buy the New York strip on its own at the same grocery store, that strip would be $17.49 a pound. We said it was 10.1 ounces, so that comes to a total of $11.04 for this strip right here. The filet is $26.99 per pound. This filet is 5 ounces, so we'll do that math, $8.43. You combine all that together, and it is a total of $19.47. If you were to buy all these things separately, the strip and the filet, it comes out to be 76 cents more than buying the whole Porterhouse. I'm actually very surprised by this. When I first had the idea for this video, I was almost sure that buying them separately was gonna come out cheaper. I have learned something today. If you like this video and want you to watch these two next, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.